Sometimes you just got to go. We are between two teams.
Did you just cut off our speaker before we start?
Cut the speaker off before we started.
We're between two teams.
We're between
I'm Steffi Steph.
I'm
this
Bobby.
is Bobby.
We have the president of
El
the
Presidente
I almost
right
said the
here.
American Dental Association. This is Texas.
One day.
Texas Dental Association. We have Dr. Duke Ho.
Yes.
Welcome.
Duke Ho in the house.
What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about. He always does this to me.
I do.
First of all, have you guys tried decaf?
No.
Have you seen people on drugs? You're looking at two of them right now.
This is really uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
And if
We're talking about
I feel like a captive.
peace, so we're gonna slow
bring it down.
Take it down.
Usually
Take it down.
says it.
We've got a
Steph will
patient
say
in the
that.
chair right
We've
now who's
gotta take it
uncomfortable.
down.
Yeah,
We gotta-
exactly.
Steph tells me to take it down.
Talk
from
to us about
11 to-
seeking and finding inner peace.
Oh my gosh.
You brought it
Only
up.
if you want to talk about the Civil War.
Well,
Inside your heart?
I was talking about Avengers.
so there's a time to certainly be peppy. There's a time for relaxation.
Yes.
We just got done having to talk about balance and trying to seek balance with
Did you
Dr.
really?
Roger
Yes.
Levin.
Yes.
We did.
Yes.
So, all right. So where do we go with this?
We're
I
going to
don't
talk
know.
about inner peace and finding inner peace because we're going to do something that's peaceful,
What
that
is-
is not high energy.
All right,
and we're
tell me
gonna
what that
slow
is.
it down. You know what we are going to talk about? How you talk to people.
Oh.
And how you talk to someone versus what you say and how it makes them feel about themselves and the energy in a conversation and relationships.
You're an excellent connector.
Oh, I appreciate that. I think for me personally, it's so funny you say, hey, how you talk to people. I think for me personally, I love to ask questions and I love to listen. And I mean that sincerely. I'm definitely not the smartest person in any arena, but I happen to be around a lot of really, really smart people, and I pester and I ask tons and tons of questions, and I think that's how.
That's what's worked for me, because
love
I am
that.
definitely not very smart.
I absolutely love that.
That I'm not very smart? You love that I'm not very smart?
I'm not very
I think
smart.
she's getting her.
We love each other.
I know. I was
Dental
like, if
Association
you know me, you
membership
know
yanked there.
I have the memory of a small squirrel, and anything you guys say, I will forget in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So one of the smartest things you can do is surround yourself with smart people.
Absolutely.
Well,
And we are, show me your 5 friends and I will tell you who
Absolutely.
you are.
you know, erroneously, if I can use that word
Erroneously.
here.
that's a big
All
word.
right, this is kind of a fancy.
I thought when I graduated dental school, I thought that being a leader was about building yourself up, flexing, look how strong I am,
Yeah.
look at me, look at how much I dominate, where are my followers?
Yeah.
And guess what? There were none there.
Yeah.
No one wants to follow somebody like that.
Yeah.
Everybody go.
So the thing I loved about what you said was that you build others up. You are very quick to figure out, to ask questions. You recognize the genius in others.
Yes.
And everyone has a different genius, by the way.
Yes.
So talk to us about that.
I like to build people up so I can break them down.
Oh, and that's what Duke's doing right now.
No.
We're on the Duke show.
No, not at all. No, I agree 150 million %. I think that I recognize I've been blessed to have an amazing mentor for myself, and what he's taught me is like, hey, you know what? Everyone has an opportunity to do good, and just it's your role and responsibility to help build them up. Now, it's up to them whether or not they want to accept that challenge or that responsibility, but for sure, I mean, I enjoy just being around people and talking to people and
You're
going.
a people person. You really, really are.
Well, talk to us about one of the biggest mentors in your life and what they mean to you.
All right, so my biggest mentor is Craig Armstrong. So
We love Craig.
Yes, we do love Craig. When I was a young dentist, Craig recognized something in me that was pretty not evident to myself anyway. But
What did he say to you? Or how did you know?
He I don't know. He just said, "Hey, Duke, you know what? I think you would be awesome if you served in this role, and you showed." Because I believe you have some leadership qualities, and I was like, really?
Yeah,
I
like,
don't think so."
okay.
Exactly. Oh, okay, if you insist. And then we would have healthy conversations, and I would continue to ask questions. He's like, "Dude, trust me. I know there's something in you, and you don't know it yet. and it's my job to help get that out of you. And so what I try to do is do the exact same thing to others. So it's like, dude, I know you're going to be a badass. I'm sorry, it's for saying badass.
No, we can say badass on the show.
Say badass?
We have badasses like Duco.
No.
There we go. Yeah.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
Yeah. You are a badass.
Oh, stop.
And that's coming from someone who just literally just got done riding a motorcycle
Yes.
in Italy.
I digress.
Yes.
So,
We-
and a
you know.
hockey player
Yes,
and blah, blah,
well,
blah.
you're way tougher than me.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, way tougher than me.
She could take us both down right now. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I like to. Someone said it the other day. We always talk about ugly crying. Someone said no, it's strong crying, and I've never heard that phrase before in my life. And I'm like, oh, so when I say I ugly cry, because we all have those stressful days,
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, no, it's strong crying, and I go, I've never heard
Sometimes
that
you
in my
got to cry.
life.
Sometimes you got to be vulnerable. You know, Brene Brown was
Yes,
here. We're at
yes,
SmileCon
yes, yes,
2022, the ADA
Yes.
annual session. I am so proud that the ADA had her here to
Yes.
talk about.
Yes.
To be an effective leader, you have to figure out how to be vulnerable. That leads to courage. I hear what you're saying is someone believed in you and
Yes.
said,
Yeah.
I need you to do this. I know you can do that.
Yes.
And you pass that along.
Yes.
What about, do you have any examples of when people have mentored you, someone who's younger, someone who's newer on their journey?
Oh, absolutely. Like, so our practice, we have a large group practice, and so we tend to hire young associates. One of the greatest pleasures for me is to have a young associate leave after a couple of years and open up their own practice. And so throughout that journey, I've learned as we've gotten younger and younger associates,
Yeah.
hey, this is what's important to me. They all want mentorship, but they want mentorship on their own terms. You mean, remember when we were growing up, it was that person over our shoulder saying, do it this way, this is how it's always done, whatever. Now younger people want that mentorship in the sense of, I want to make a mistake, and I want to know that I can come to y'all. And
They're experiential.
This
They
is
have
where,
to get
you know,
in
there have been a
there.
lot of kind of back and forth here, and I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, for me, I'm an experiential learner. If you do not meet me where I'm at, and this makes me a terrible learner maybe,
Yes.
or a terrible student, but I want to know, I want you to help me out in the way I want to be helped, versus having someone
Yes.
over your shoulder saying, this is how we've done it for centuries,
Yeah.
And
this
I
works.
think
Yes.
with anything, as we try to reach out to members in whatever community it is, you have to meet them where they are.
Yes.
You have to try different things. Quite frankly, that's part of our own podcast journey. We looked at it and said, we want to connect, we want to discover,
Ooh.
we want to inspire.
I love that.
Yes.
Do that on.
But I think also, though, we shouldn't forget that there are valuable resources available to us by listening to people like yourself. I might be a young dentist. If I'm a young dentist, there's a wealth of information that you have to offer. So I have to be willing to reach out to you and say, hey, I want to grab that information. It's not
Right.
I'm right and you're coming to me or vice
It's
versa.
knocking on the door.
Right.
Yes.
And we just talked to Roger Levin about wisdom
Yeah.
and reaching out to others. And the learning, the mentoring up
Yeah.
is seeing what the new associates are doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen this material.
yes.
Oh, I haven't seen that technique. One of the
Sorry to interrupt you, but wouldn't you also say there's some level of humility involved on both sides?
yes.
Because
Humility, putting the ego aside a little bit.
yes.
Because I've been doing this for a long time.
Yes. Or I learned this in school, and
Right.
let me tell you, this is the new technology. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
there's got to be humility on both sides, and I think as important, if not more important, is authenticity. Meaning that I know that you're genuine in
Right.
where you're coming from, and
Wanting
I'm
to do it for the right reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I like that piece of
Indeed.
genuine.
Well, listen, if you like what we're
Thanks,
talking
guys.
about,
Hit the
please
subscribe button.